My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
Hey gang, welcome back. Today we have a different kind of an interview because our special guest is going to take us through a little walkthrough explanation of what he does. And it's really pretty cool because I've interviewed a ton of people who've gone from doing single family home stuff into smaller multifamily and then into really big multifamily. Matt's doing kind of the opposite. He started off with the really big stuff, and now he's focusing on big opportunities in single family, especially in San Francisco. So Matt, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Nice to be here.
Yeah. So Matt, just give us the 1 or 2 minute overview of how you got into the whole crazy world of real estate, and then we'll take a look at what you know.
Yeah. Fast forward or rewind. 2023, I got a job with a real estate private equity firm in New York, where I was learning and underwriting multifamily ground up development throughout the country, and ended up joint venturing with national multifamily developers like Trammell Residential, Wood Partners, and Alliance, and really learned the culture and how the multifamily industry works.
Yeah.
And then crunching numbers for almost a decade, wanted to get under the hood of the car and see how the sausage is made. So I went to work for a company called Greystar when they were opening up a West Coast multifamily group. And I joined them when they opened up that office. And that was like drinking out of the fire hose. Did I don't know how many deals really quickly, nonstop. And then I'm like, all right, I think I know enough to be dangerous. Started a company called Junction Properties. And we ended up focusing on Oakland, California at the time, because rents had increased 50% between 2010 and 2015. Rents were high in San Francisco. People were all moving to Oakland. And it was a great time to really build supply in Oakland. Developed 400 apartments there. And then the pandemic hit. The market got crushed. I was looking for a big problem to solve. And I ended up recognizing an insurance problem in the state of California and starting a company called Knob and Tube Replacement, because knob and tube electrical wiring was the national standard of electrical wiring in the country between, say, the late 1800s until 1940. And in San Francisco, electricians kept using knob and tube wiring in the installation of new homes going into 1960.
Wow.
And so there were about 200,000 homes built before 1960 in San Francisco. And today, no insurance company will offer a home insurance policy on any home or property with knob and tube wiring.
Wow.
So we are called by sellers and buyers every time there's a property going on market or a property being sold, because the buyer will need to complete the knob and tube replacement in order to get insurance. And so I am calling you from a job that we're going to be starting Thursday. And it's a typical 2-story, home in San Francisco. And we'll complete the knob and tube replacement. But this house also has a significant opportunity that we have found in, hundreds of homes in San Francisco. And it's the same opportunity throughout the city. And so we've created a business model that is essentially a replicatable home flipping model. And this is, I know it's a podcast, but I'm talking to you on my iPhone because I can actually walk you through the opportunity.
Yeah, well, let's take a look. So for folks that don't even know what knob and tube means, let's take a look. Like this is a before thing.
Okay.
Right? You're in the house before you guys place.
I'm in a house right here. This is actually a renovated home.
Yeah.
Like you see all those fixtures on the walls and the ceiling fixture, these sconces.
So you guys, if you're listening to this on iTunes. You can go over and check this out on our YouTube channel.
Okay. Like you could see this two-prong outlet, right? Knob and tube wiring is only a hot and neutral. There is no ground wire. So behind these walls is knob and tube wiring feeding these outlets, feeding these lights, feeding the light switch that's over here. This bedroom is all knob and tube. The hallway was renovated because there's recessed lights, so there's Romex behind there, but there could be knob and tube feeding the outlet itself, but not going to the lights. So this beautifully renovated home looks great, but the electrical system is going to be the cause of it not getting insurance.
Yeah, the insurance won't touch it. Now, for us dunderheads that don't know anything about electrical and insurance and stuff, why do they not like knob and tube anymore?
Because there is a risk that the insulator that wraps the conductor in knob and tube wiring has broken down due to weathering, due to, hot climates, cold climates, whatever.
Built 100 years ago.
Right. So it's old. And there is no ground wire. So if there is a surge in the power, there's no place for that surge to go. So it could impact the appliances or whatever the plugs are connected to.
Makes sense. All right. So let me zoom out for a second here, Matt. So you were go in multifamily for the longest time. The kind of hit the fan. And at the same time, you saw this opportunity because you're in the San Francisco Bay Area. Saw this opportunity with this problem with knob and tube. So you basically started kind of an electrical renovation company, which sounds like things are going great guns for that. But at the same time, you notice that a lot of the houses that you were doing this with had something special about them that made them good as investment properties. So let's talk about that side of things for a minute.
Okay. So the most prolific developer of the 1930s and 1940s was a guy named Henry Dolger. Okay. Henry Dolger, San Francisco native, originally like a hot dog dealer. Okay. In an area of San Francisco called the Sunset. Okay. In 1928, he was able to source a loan from Bank of America to buy land in the Sunset District, which was then called the Sunset Dunes, to build housing. Okay.
Right before the Great Depression.
Right. That loan carried him through the Great Depression.
Wow.
Okay. And he built up a housing company and ended up building and getting to a point where he had like 500 construction workers working for him. Okay. He ended up building about 11,000 homes in San Francisco, and then went to a city just south of San Francisco called Daly City, where he built another 25,000 homes. Okay. Okay. The Dolger homes are all generally the same. Okay. They're generally 2-story homes where you have the garage on the ground floor, and then you have the livable space on the second floor. Okay. Dolger replicated the Henry Ford model of the assembly line. Okay. And he also recognized that the 1930s was an era where people just wanted to get cars. Okay. And so the lower level of these homes was deep enough for tandem parking. Okay. So pretty much every house is enough to fit 2 cars in, tandem.
So sorry, when you say tandem, that's side by side or front to back?
Front to back.
Nice. Okay.
Hey there, if you're a capital raiser, a syndicator, or a fund manager, and you're looking for a steady flow of incoming accredited investor leads, then go ahead, grab a free copy of my new book, How to Get 20 Accredited Investor Meetings Every Month Without Cold Calling, Networking, or Chasing People. You can get that at 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com. Again, that's the number 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com.
Okay.
A long, skinny garage, basically.
So, yes, well, not skinny, but it was the full width of the house. Okay. And so there'd be a garage door, and then there is an entrance, and the entrance today, if you look at them in the Sunset, it's like a gate, and you walk through the gate, and you're in this indoor-outdoor hallway. And so you walk through the gate, you're in what I call the tunnel. Many people refer to them as tunnel homes. And then you walk, say, 20 feet forward, and then there's a staircase, say it's about 5 steps, and you make a right turn, it's another, say 10 steps to the front door on the second story. But when you look up to the sky, you see the sky. Okay. It's open air. Okay. So I'm getting into the thesis now of what I'm thinking here. In the tunnel of these homes, you have underutilized space, and it's generally around 200 plus square feet. And so you can enclose this space. Okay. In the smallest model of a Dolger home, after you build out, say, or put on a demising wall for a garage, say the smallest garage is probably 150 feet, maybe left a storage space, add a couple, maybe bring it 175 feet. But then you put up that demising wall, you have all this extra space that's underutilized. And so every one of these Dolger homes were built the same way. Now, some people have renovated along the way. I'm going to now bring you down to the garage of this house that I'm in and show you the opportunity, because this is, symbolic of pretty much every Dolger home in San Francisco.
So this is an example of one that hasn't been renovated.
This is an example. It's actually not a Dolger, but it has the same characteristics.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna turn around the camera.
Right.
This is a wide, right? This is an open garage with open studs, open joists. Okay. So say I walk to a point where I think it's enough for a single car garage. Okay. So put up a demising wall here, and you have this entire space to build out. All right. You can easily
build a secondary suite and accessory dwelling unit, something like that, right?
You can have an ADU, but this is a single family home. And so, market value, there's more market value in building out a single family home than adding a unit.
Really?
But it makes more sense to build a unit for housing. But in terms of valuation, it's definitely a higher price per foot at the end of the day to build out a single family home. So upstairs, you've got 2 bedrooms upstairs. Okay. In this space, you could easily add 2 more bedrooms. You can add a family room. There's, I would say, after the demising wall for a garage, you're probably looking at, 600 plus square feet here. Okay. Yep. The house itself is about 1,500 square feet. Okay. And this is a repeatable model. Every time we do a knob and tube replacement on these Dolger style homes, we see the same thing. Open garages.
Explain the business model then.
The business model is really a home flip. So because we're not changing anything outside the envelope of the house, you can pretty much get over-the-counter permits. Okay, so you have speed to permitting. You can close escrow within, say, a week or so, file for permits, get them the same day, start work immediately. The Dolger foundations all had concrete foundations, so they're all generally strong, whereas the older homes had brick foundations. So you got a great foundation to start with. And then you could add 2 bedrooms, a family room, a bathroom, and then you can have direct access to the backyard as well because it's a lower level. And this is a model that could likely be done within 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 months for a flip.
So,
and it's repeatable.
So you're basically turning this smaller house into a bigger house. You're turning a back to front 2-car garage into a 1-car garage. Is that the lack of parking going to cause any problems? Do you foresee?
No, because in San Francisco, you can park in front of your driveway.
Okay.
And so that's what most people do here.
Right. They fill up their garage with crap anyhow and don't park outside. Yeah. Okay. So talk to me a little bit about
the economics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So last deal we looked at was a 3-bedroom, existing 3-bedroom upstairs. It was a 1,600 square foot house. Our underwriting had about actually closed at $1,580,000. And you could add about, say, $300,000 in value add costs and get the exit to around 2.4 to 2.5 million.
Okay, very nice. So you're all in for
And that,
About
and that
1.8, give or take, 1.9. And
you're in, that's right. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. That's on a 6-month turnaround. So you get permits quickly, you get your crew in there to build out the space, and then you get to add the space to the legal square footage of the property. Okay. And so the exit value, would be, in today's market, you're going to end up selling it for, say, somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 square feet, 1,000 to 1,200 bucks per square foot.
yeah, very cool. So have you done any of these, or is this just a business model you're thinking about at the moment?
No, we've done these. We pretty much have, significant experience doing similar stuff at all of these knob and tube replacements, because we're the first contractor on site to make sure the buyers get insurance, and then every buyer always has additional work requested. So we're constantly making renovations to these homes. So we've got a great crew ready to execute quickly. And this is a repeatable, scalable model, which is, not typical in a home flipping business. But since every Dolger has the same floor plan, you can have your set floor plans, on the shelf, and then file them for permits, right after you close escrow. And then away you go.
So of the original 35,000-ish that he built many, many, many years ago, how many are left?
They're always on the market. If you go to, Redfern or whatever, and you pull up a house in the Sunset, you'll see a Dolger home always on the market. And so the inventory is always there. And either the buyer is doing it themselves, or they're paying someone, they're paying a flipper, for the work they've done. So it's move-in ready.
Yeah. Cool. Matt, fascinating. Congratulations on number one, dialing in and going so specific with the original, contracting business, the electrical side of things. I love how you've just niched down so nicely there. So you're a category of one. When it comes to that, you're the guy. And then looking at the opportunity, saying, hey, there's all this wasted space here. We could do this, and this, and just massively increase the value. I think that's really, really smart. So if people are watching and listening to this and they want to connect with you, where should they go to find out more?
My current company is called knobandtubereplacement.com. And just as in the service, you can reach me there. My name is Matt at knobandtubereplacement.com. And let's talk. Looking forward to connecting.
Perfect. Hey, Matt, thanks for being on the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com.